Welcome to the Christmas Palooza. I'm Mary with the Painted Peach. Today's collaboration playlist is hosted by Indie Annie Jones. Make sure you check out the whole playlist, which is in my description. DIY number 1. Let's make some Christmas ornaments. We're going to use these essential stencil rub-ons and we're going to make some cute little ornaments. I'm first using some white folk art paint. This is wicker white, and I'm going to paint both of my ornaments. These ornaments are laser cutouts that I got from a friend a couple years back, and I had these two left over, and I thought, why not use them today in this wonderful Christmas collaboration? So I painted both of them with the wicker white, and I'm just giving them a dry. And we're going to make sure they're good and dry before we move on to the next step. Now I'm just taking my little gator sander and I'm roughing up those edges and getting some of that wood to show back through. Later on I'm going to add a little bit of dark wax to that and darken it up a bit. But for now we just want the bare wood to show around the edges. Now we're going to get out our rub-on transfer. I just got these. They are super cute. I love the little red birds, and we're going to use both of the red birds today. I'm first going to cut this one out, and of course it's too big for this, but we're only going to get the red bird and a little bit of the branch and leave the rest on the sticky sheet. So I can't find my little rub-on tool, so I'm using a popsicle stick, and we're just going to rub that red bird transfer right onto our ornament. Now I'm just getting the edges with that sander again so that none of those little pieces are on the edge. And then we're just going to do the same thing for ornament number 2. And I decided to use the red bird for that one as well. This one has a bit of a flower on there I wanted to get and everything. So it doesn't fit perfectly, but we get a good majority of it on there, and I think it's very pretty. So we're just rubbing that transfer on and peeling back slowly to make sure that it attaches. If it doesn't attach, you just lay it back down and keep rubbing until it does. Alright, we have both of our little red birds on here, and now it's time to add our dark wax. I love to add dark wax around the edges. My friend Christy from Funky Junk Inspiration taught me that putting dark wax around the edges draws the eye into your creation in the middle. Sometimes I do white paint around the edges if I have a dark project, and that way it'll bring the eye into the darkness. But I think it's a great tip, and I use it all the time now. I just added a piece of twine to hang it, and now I'm adding some matte Mod Podge over the top of the transfer to seal it, and then we are going to dry them. I then get some tissue paper that I had left over from Christmas. I am adding white paint to the back, and we're going to Mod Podge the tissue paper to the back to make sure that it is a finished project. I did get a little bit of white paint on the edges, so here you'll see that I'm just sanding that off so that we have that dark edge again. I'm just giving it a good dry, and then we'll get out our tissue paper to decoupage onto the back. I do have quite the obsession with red birds during Christmas. Last year I made a couple of projects and they were big hits. People love them too, so I guess I'm not alone. But it seems like anytime I make an ornament, it is a red bird. But I just love the way they turn out, and they're very rustic, hanging on your Christmas tree. Alright, now I have these berries left over from Christmas decor from last year. We're just going to glue these to the top of our ornaments, and then we're going to add a little twine bow to top it off, and we'll have some super cute red bird or cardinal Christmas ornaments to hang on our tree this year. And here they are. If you haven't tried these rub-on transfers from Essential Stencil, you definitely should. I have a link in my description to them, and go and grab you some. They're great to make projects with, and they're lots of fun to use. Here they are, all finished up. I think they turned out beautiful. Alright, let's go on to DIY number 2. I cut out these 2 triangle shapes on my scroll saw, and we're going to turn these into a shabby chic Christmas tree. I also have a spindle there to my right, and I have a glass candle stick holder up there to the top of the screen. Those are the items we're going to use, and then I'm going to add a little bit of lace and some ribbon I got from Hobby Lobby, and we're going to make this a shabby chic Christmas tree. I just used linen from Folk Art to paint the triangles, and we're giving that a good dry, and then we're going to attach them to our spindle and to each other. You see me fiddling here. I am using a few Jenga blocks to attach this spindle and hold it into place. That way it would, while I was gluing it, it wouldn't roll around, and it gives it a little bit more support for the spindle since everything's layered. I chose not to do anything to the back of the trees. You could, of course, paint front and back if you want the finished look. I plan on keeping this for myself, so I'm not worried about it. It'll probably be put up on my mantle, and no one's going to see the back. This is some vintage lace that I got from my friend Donna, and we are putting it on here, just kind of gluing and then ruffling it up so that it goes out on the bottom edge. We do a couple layers up here to the top, and then I start from the bottom of the top piece. That way I can work my way up. Once I get this layer on, I then get my little ribbon from Hobby Lobby. It's like a bobble is what I want to call it, a bobble ribbon. It's kind of like a trim, and we're going to add that right to the top of our lace, and we're just going to keep going like that all the way up. that we got our top portion done, we don't have enough of this ribbon to continue that process, so I decided to do the second layer of the tree a little differently. So I take the rest of that ribbon and I just glue it to the bottom of my tree, and then I take my bobble ribbon and just layer it all the way down to that vintage ribbon, that vintage lace ribbon. I'm sorry I'm out of the screen here. It was a little difficult holding this tree and keeping myself in camera, it seems. I then take some light colored nautical rope from the Dollar Tree and I just go and trim this lace here and there with it to give it a little bit more texture, and then I trim it off the sides and glue it down. I think it's super cute this way, but then I decide I'm going to take the bobble ribbon all the way around the bottom layer of the tree just to even it out some and make it a little fuller. And I really like how that turned out in the end. So now that we have that all done, we have to get this spindle to stay in this candlestick. So what I did is I stuck it in there and I added a little bit of glue at the bottom. Once that dried, I just filled the whole space in there up with the hot glue, and I just held it for as long as I could stand it so that it would stay there and be good and secure. The problem with that is I ended up with a lot of glue at the top of my candle holders, so I end up having to cover that, which you'll see in a little bit. Right now I'm making a little bow out of the chiffon ribbon I had, and I put that at the top of the tree. And here I'm adding that same nautical light colored rope around the top of that candlestick holder, and that kind of hid the glue that was there. Here is the finished tree, and I just absolutely adore it. It would also be really pretty with some pearls, which I didn't have any of. But of course, the sky is the limit with these things. Thank you for joining me today in this Christmas Palooza playlist collaboration. And thank you to the host, Indy Annie Jones, for having me. And I hope that you'll watch the playlist, find yourself some new creative friends, and make sure if you like what you see here today, you go ahead and subscribe to my channel and hit that bell so you know when I upload new videos. I really appreciate you being here, and I hope that you have a blessed day.